In this video, we're going to be taking a look at my top 5 free VST piano plugins. Hi folks, I'm Mike and I hope you're well. Now for many of us making music, the piano is a key instrument. So I've been taking a look for you guys at what free ones are available as VST plugins. And in YouTube tradition, I've put together my list of my top 5 VST piano plugins for you guys to be inspired by, download and make your own music with. But before we get into that, if you do like this kind of content, all about DAWs, home recording, gear reviews, plugin reviews, with the odd smattering of dad jokes, then please do subscribe and ring the bell on YouTube so that you get notified about all of my videos. Now let's get stuck into some free piano VSTs.
5.
So coming in at number 5 on my list is Dpiano A by Dead Duck Software. What an awesome name for a software company. Now, it is in at number 5, not because it's not okay, but because it's just kind of okay. I mean, it sounds kind of like an acoustic piano, but it's fairly plain sounding. The interface is adequate, rather plain again. It doesn't have a piano keyboard on it anywhere, but it does have the controls that you need here to make changes to the sound. And when you've made changes to the sounds, then you can save them as presets. And Dead Duck Software give you 8 presets to get going with. And we're going to be taking a listen to the first one of those, the main one, which is called MDA Piano. Now, in demonstrating all of these pianos in my list, I'm going to be using the same MIDI every single time. Now the first piece of MIDI is a much more melodic affair which attempts to show a greater range of the piano, and the second piece of MIDI is a much more plonky chord progression, which I have to say is way more typical of my abilities on the piano. So let's have a listen to Dpiano A by Dead Duck Software. So in at number 4 is a plugin that is no stranger to these kind of top 5 lists on YouTube, and that is the Versilian upright piano. Very, very simple in its interface, which I don't mind at all. Sometimes you just want to plonk an instrument in and start using it. It's nice to see it actually does have a piano keyboard here, which I can use my mouse on, so I can do my Jerry Lee Lewis impression easily. And apart from that, it does have a volume pan and reverb control, and it does have some envelope settings, which we would normally call ADSR, standing for Attack, Decay, Sustain, Release. But in this case, they have chosen to break with convention and change the order to Attack, Sustain, Decay, Release. No word on that. Why? Does it matter to geeks other than me? No, it doesn't at all. So let's have a listen to the Versilian upright piano. So in at number 3 is a little plugin which left my little brain a little bit confused. Is it called Keyzone Classic or Keys 1 Classic? I'm going to go for Keyzone Classic, and I rather like the user interface on this one. They've done a nice job, and it really appeals to my traditional preferences for user interfaces, and they have indeed gone for a traditional layout with the Attack, Decay, Sustain, Release order of things for the envelope, and they've also included an LFO filter, which I found to be completely useless and horrible to use, but you don't have to use it is the good news. The main thing about this plugin is I really like the sound of it, so let's have a listen to it now.
2.
So in at number 2, we have a slightly quirky choice. This is not a plugin in itself. It is in fact a free sample library in the format of a Soundfont. I think you can get it for Contact as well, but you have to have the full version of Contact to use it. I've gone for the Soundfont library, which is free, and you can use this free Soundfont player, SF or Xando, to actually make use of the whole thing. Now, this is a really nice sample library of a Steinway Model B Grand piano. So whilst we don't have all the bells and whistles of the other interfaces, I've chosen this as number 2 because I just love the sound of it. It's not been treated much at all, so you can add reverb and things like that yourself. It's a fairly basic, authentic recording, and it sounds like this. Now, it wouldn't be a YouTube top 5 if just before number 1 I didn't give you a couple of honourable mentions. And the first of those is from Big Cat Instruments, and it's called NST Pianos. Now, it actually has 5 pianos in this particular plugin, and the first 3 of them, which are acoustic pianos, sound pretty average. They've got kind of noisy samples or something going on. I didn't really like them at all. But they did have a couple of kind of electric pianos, which were okay. And I'm going to play you one of them. This is NST Piano 4. Have a quick listen to this. Kind of interesting sounding. So that was the first of our honourable mentions. Now, the second of the honourable mentions is called The Grand by DSK Music, and this is often included in people's top 5s, but I have some sort of issues with this one. It's okay. It's a very, very clean sounding piano. Have a listen. But do you hear that awful kind of gap in there? That is as a result of the use of the sustain pedal. It was very, very unforgiving with the sustain pedal. Now, you can kind of fix that with some magic in the actual MIDI files, and you can sort of move the points around where you use the sustain pedal. But I just found it a little bit too difficult to use, even though the sound is kind of okay. But that's my honourable mentions. Let's move on to our number 1 pick.
1.
So here's my number 1 pick, the Piano 1 library, here playing in the Soundmagic Neo Piano player. Now, you can download both the player and the library completely free if you follow the link in the description down below. If you go to their website, there's a whole bunch of commercial libraries and things like that, and it gets a bit confusing, so yeah, just follow the link. Now, why have I chosen this as my number 1 pick? Well, I think this is the best balance between a great sounding piano and a great looking and usable interface with some useful features. One thing I really like is the mixer section down here. You can blend in some different harmonics. You can choose a balance between the low, high and the lid sections of the piano, and you can also pick a balance between the player and the audience perspective. I really like that particular feature. Of course, it also has some reverb controls, and you can control the sounds of the noises of the piano and all that good stuff. But let's go ahead and have a listen to my number 1 pick for a free VST piano.
do you think? Did I pick the correct 5? Let us know in the comments down below what your top 5 would be for these piano instruments. And if I've missed any at all, then please do let us all know so that we can all discover your favorite free VST piano instrument. Now, if you did like this video, make sure that you hit the like button. It really helps me out a lot. If you didn't like this video, then do whatever. If you like this kind of content, then please do make sure you subscribe and ring the bell on YouTube so that you get notified about my future videos. But now on the screen here, I'm going to put some of my past videos for you to enjoy, and then I'm going to stare at the camera awkwardly until you click on one of them.